years.
Okay.
And so I explored after that. And he just passed.
Yes, he did last year, yeah.
Yeah, that was, it looked like he had, I would say if you're going to die and you're going to turn your body in battered and beat up like you really lived a life, he hit the mark.
I think he hit more than the mark, to be fair.
All right, okay. He's the lead singer of the Pogues, but he like beat the shit out of that body. He looked like he got hit in the face with a bag of rocks.
I think all us Irish, as we get through life, always have a plastic kidney here or there.
Shane McGowan?
Shane McGowan, that's the one.
Shane McGowan, that's right, Shane McGowan. I always wanted to name, now I have 3 sons, and my youngest is named Jameson, and I was going to name him, Seamus, but I never, I did not.
So Seamus is James.
Yes.
In Irish.
Yes.
So, yeah, great name. I have an uncle called
that. But Darren, so I said to Darren when he sat down, I go, Darren is not a very Irish-sounding name.
No, it's not.
And then, but how does that come about? His family name? What is this?
I'll tell you a funny story. When I talked to my mom about this and why I was called Darren, the name Bewitched.
Yes.
Right, so Darren back in Ireland, when that was shown all over TV, and Patrick after me grandfather, Christopher after me dad, and so it was Darren, Patrick, Christopher, Wynn.
Wow.
So yeah, so that was the most popular name back in the late 70s, early 80s.
Now, were you the Dick York Darren or Dick Sargent Darren?
It's Mr. Dick to you, okay? Have some respect.
So, Darren, what is your full name? Because you and I share a middle name.
Because Christopher is your confirmation name back in Ireland.
Yes. So my dad had a confirmation name. His was Paul, but he didn't have a middle name. So he and I are the same. It's William Patrick Moran. And I had somebody who used to call me, hello, Willie Pat.
So over in Ireland, when you're born, you have your name,
Yeah.
and then you have your baptismal name. So mine was Darren Patrick.
Yes.
And then when you made your confirmation, it was
You
Darren
got to
Patrick.
choose it.
I actually got to choose.
Right?
Yeah, right.
So I come from a very Irish Catholic family background, and my family from Ireland. I think I was saying to these guys, I had a great grandmother come over at 9, and she would wash clothes for a family and stuff. And I go, I don't know how, even as parents, you let your 9-year-old go. Do you have kids?
Yes, I have 2 boys.
Yeah, and so it'd be amazing.
2 Irish names as well.
Yes.
Owen, when we first had him, it was like
Now.
E. Owen.
E. Owen.
And like, it's just Owen. It's just Owen. Or they would call him Ian.
The Irish have, it's almost a Gaelic spelling.
Yeah, totally Gaelic
Do you
spelling.
Do you speak Gaelic?
I don't spill it, but I do speak a wee bit.
A wee bit. Pogue Mahone was something my grandfather
You
said.
kiss my arse.
Yes, that's my...
Right.
Yes. And but almost a lost language. Now there is a high school here that my son went to that teaches Gaelic.
I didn't know that.
McQuaid High School.
Oh, okay. McQuaid. I know McQuaid.
Yeah, my son went there, and he signed up to take. He was going to take Gaelic.
In the Gael Talk, there's actually, it's growing. It's growing a lot more.
Okay.
So through social media, TikTok, Instagram, there's a lot more schools putting out Irish songs in Gaelic, like the normal English songs like Adele and stuff like that.
Yes.
But now they're translating it into Irish Gael Talk.
And they are.
So it's actually growing a lot more now.
Yeah, that's amazing.
In the
It's
last
almost
like 4 or 5 years.
So like here, what they'll do with some of those songs is they call it Kid Bop.
Yeah.
Right? If you did it with kids singing it in Gaelic, I bet that would be to a new generation.
It's actually really cool. Like, so I've actually went on to Duolingo. Duolingo now has Gaelic.
It does.
As an option.
No shit.
And I was, well, yeah, shit. And I was actually like trying to figure out, I was like, Jesus, is that the word that I used to remember? Like, nah, that's not it. And then I'd hear it and I go, yeah, that's what. Then a little kind of like suburb, just like Fairport is to Rochester.
Yeah.
A place called Ballyfermot.
All right, so
and it's a very rough area. Even the squirrels and the cats have weapons there.
So I have family in County Cork was where
everybody has family in County Cork.
County Cork was Moran, but then I
played with Sligo Rovers for 5 years.
Yeah.
So when I was 18 years old, I signed for Sligo.
So I had 18. You signed with Sligo. How amazing! What was that experience like?
Very hard. A big step up from club football.
Sure,
soccer.
it is. Yeah.
Played there for 5 years. My last year I was
so
out.
You lasted for 5 years.
Yeah. I played.
With who in England?
So St Albans City. They were in the Northern Conference League. It was called the Vauxhall Conference League.
Okay.
And I grew up when I was playing in Ireland. I actually played for Ireland growing up through U15, U through 20.
Okay.
So now I coach locally at a college here.
You do? What college?
Brighton Stratton College here in Rochester.
Brighton and Stratton?
Yeah.
What the fuck? They have a fucking soccer?
Yeah, they
have
do
teams.
actually. No, I'm the athletic director and I'm also the head soccer coach.
So are they trying to build a program?
So I am actually building out the program. We started in 2021 with 15 players, and then 2022 we had 25, and then 2023 we had 51 players, and we won a national championship at the small colleges level.
Really?
Yeah, and we're
This is
Division 1, so
amazing.
we offer actually scholarships.
What does that
That's
mean,
not the
Danny?
No, it's not NCAA. So we're on the
Oh.
same lines as NCAA Division 2.
Okay. Well, my
Yeah.
son is Division 2. He's a thrower in track, shot put,
Okay.
weight throw, hammer, that sort of thing. Okay, so this is amazing.
Yeah.
So would you look to go coach elsewhere? And there's a lot of great.
job. I think he's there about 2 or 3 years. So
Yeah,
he's
about 3 years.
Yeah. So that program is actually picking up. Burgasser. Yeah.
He played there under Coach Searle.
I actually was his instructor for his USD
Oh, okay.
license.
All right.
And I had to turn around and tell him, I said, Jack, you need to pick up this little session you have right now. It's not kind of flowing the right way. And so we got him over the line.
So you did?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
You
right,
love this game that much? I mean, you played it. Okay.
And
Sorry.
no, you're good. I think it's the only person that I would know that would push Jesus Christ out of the way and make the day all about himself. So I was actually back home. I flew back home in
Narcissistic
November.
assholes,
Yeah,
what we call
right.
those people. But you know, the big personality of the Irish. I love it.
Yeah, it's great. Like, so he actually played for Ireland. He had one cap for Ireland growing up, and I actually. For my first cap and my last cap when I was playing for Ireland.
What position did you play?
I was a goalkeeper.
I was going to say, you look like you had a goalkeeper.
What are you trying to say? I'm fat?
I'm
Stick
saying,
the fat kid in goal.
I'm saying you have to be nuts to be a goalie.
I'll tell you,
A little bit.
I actually had a very, very good goalkeeper coach growing up. And to be fair, like when I was playing like U8, U9, U10, the coaches, the players, just like, geez, he might be a good goalkeeper. And put him in goal, and then literally,
And it just happened.
that's it.
Yeah. So, I mean, being a goalkeeper, there's a lot of pressure. Like when we come down to shootouts and things, it's you, man.
I actually loved that part
You
of the
did?
game.
Why?
Yeah, percentage.
You did?
Yeah. So when I played pro, they used to actually sub me in the last minute or two of the game of injury time to put me in goal to
So
actually.
in case, the tie.
Just the
Did you
kind
ever
of the coach,
have
the
terrible
logically.
injuries with they're delivering balloons here? I don't know what happened.
Someone's birthday, is it? St. Patrick, is
St.
it?
Patrick. Well, I'll tell you what. I always say this. Like, I don't know in Ireland growing up. I know you said we talked earlier. And you said there was a camera in one of your.
Which is an area in Dublin. There's also a bar in Dublin called Temple Bar, but it's actually shoulder to shoulder there.
Yeah.
So like, there's a webcam you can
What
go
I
online.
remember from when I was a kid, because I'm 52 and I have
Oh,
family.
you
from-
don't look a day over
No,
25.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I'm making a really kind of weird face right now.
I know. You look like you bit into a lemon when you said it. I often, to me, it was always somewhat of a high holy day. And when you
Yeah.
look back on the real significance of St. Patrick, not just bringing 15th century and what happened in Europe and the Roman Empire
Well,
and
it's
burning
so
everything.
funny that St. Patrick was adopted by the Irish people, considering that he was Welsh.
Yes.
And he got like,
and they were heathen to his
yeah,
head,
and
right?
he actually got like when he was Welsh, he actually got kidnapped and brought into mainland Europe. Brought him up, and then he came back to Ireland. He had a vision, came back to Ireland, and
Yeah.
and then they got rid of the snakes as in the symbolic part of
Yes.
paganism.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And then here we are drinking Guinness on St. Patrick's
Yes,
Day.
it's a wonderful thing.
It's a beautiful thing.
But it was always like a significant.
Like back in Ireland. And it's funny because on St. Patrick's Day, you did usually go to church.
Yeah.
But they also had a big, massive parade in Dublin, which
Okay.
they still do to
Yes,
today.
yes.
And
I
I
think
remember
my brother went to Dublin to see, but I'm thinking that was the early 2000s.
I remember growing up and going into St. Patrick's Day parade, and there was like 800,000 people.
Really?
Now it's actually gotten a lot bigger. It's any tourists and everything, locals, everything like that. And then from there, they just have floats upon floats upon floats.
How old were you when you came to the States?
27, I think.
And why?
I actually came over on vacation, funny enough. So I came on vacation. I actually played in a soccer game down in Syracuse with him, and he didn't believe that I was a goalkeeper. So he asked me, he says, where'd you play?
So you were
And I
that
said,
good with the ball handling
so,
and everything.
Well, just we don't handle the ball. That's called a free kick back in Ireland. You keep it with your feet.
Yeah.
So when I was playing on the field, I was very good with my feet. And I scored like 4 goals against this kid, and he played D2 with Lemoyne.
Okay.
Now, and Lemoyne are now D1.
Yeah.
So his dad turned and goes, where are you from? And I says, from Dublin, but I live in London. And he goes, you're pretty good with the ball. And I says, yeah. I says, played a little bit back in Ireland. He said, played on the Irish national team. He goes, what positions did you play? And I said, guess. I said, guess. And he goes, like center forward.
Striker,
center forward. And I was like, no, center mid. And I said, goalkeeper. And he went, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And his son was like, what?
Yeah.
He said, you just destroyed us. So another funny story was the Syracuse Silver Knights was an indoor pro team. It was exactly the same as the Lancers when they played at the Blue Cross Arena.
Yeah.
So I played with them back in Syracuse.
Indoor.
Indoor. And the owner, Tommy Tanner, was like, oh, jeez.
Oh, I know of Tommy. I've never met Tommy.
So Tommy was like, oh, I have an Irish Darren. And they were like, yeah. And I was like, Irish Darren's a goalkeeper. And he's like, no, he's not.
So was it hard for you to not use your hands when it's coming?
No, because I grew up playing football on the street, so we'd be out like right outside probably one of the best Irish bars in this area, Mulconnery's.
100%.
So, we would be out playing football like on the street, and we play lamppost to lamppost, or we play garden gate to garden gate. But if you kick the ball into someone else's garden, you better be really quickly getting into that and get that ball out, because the neighbour. There's a thing called Trocre.
Hey, fuck you fiddle bastards.
So we had a thing called Trocre, which was an organisation that actually raised money for they sent money to Africa, right, growing up, and we used to have a Trocre box. So I used to actually like rob money out of the Trocre box growing up to go buy another football, because Mr. Moore would actually stick a knife in it. Goalkeeping was just an additional kind of add-on.
Yeah, but one that it's a very skilled position. Like it takes a specialty, right? I mean,
what are you trying to say?
No, what I'm trying to say is it takes a specialty. I really think that you have to be. But I think you have to be able to anticipate, read body language, understand, where all these angles. There's a lot. You have to do math in your head quick.
So mentally you have to organize everything.
Yeah.
But physically, like verbally, you would have to communicate better.
Yes.
So I actually have a couple of goalkeepers that another players that I've actually played that play in the United in the MLS. Alex Bono, local kid from Syracuse. So I coached him for years, and that was one of the things I used to preach to the goalkeepers. You don't only have to make saves, but if you can talk to players and move your players into positions where
that's interesting. And you were also on radio in Dublin.
Yes, I've been on radio since I was about 14.
Since you were 14, I was on since I've been 19. So that's interesting. What doing what?
So we started off. There was a friend of mine, Jerry. He would say, "Hey, give me that record. I want to put that on."
All right.
So I go to nightclubs when I was 14, as you do in Ireland, like like started to drink when I was 12.
Yeah.
So I started kind of learning that industry, but he was more like dance music, like EDM, like R&B and hip hop. And I actually have a radio studio in my basement that I transmit from there in Rochester all the way back to Dublin, Ireland.
Shut up.
Yeah.
How often do you do that?
I do Monday through Friday. Right now, because of the clocks going forward, it's actually 9 to 11 over here, but usually it's 8 to 10 p.m. Yeah.
So over there, it's
1 a.m. to 3 a.m.
Okay.
But we're actually looking to move my show to 11 to 12. So don't put me a point down. It's okay.
All right. Okay. So you'll be 46.
I'll be 46. Yeah. Don't look it though.
No, not at all.
No,
not at all.
You must moisturize.
Goalkeeping.
I do moisturize. Yeah. I use oil of Oglay.
So this is amazing. What station is it?
It's called freedomfm.ie. That's the website, and then you can go listen to it on an app, and you can also go listen to it online as well.
Yeah. Is it a big popular station in
Serbia, Croatia, Germany, Finland, Scandinavia, any of those? There's a lot of actually radio listeners in there. So my show is actually probably the top 3 in the shows all of the throughout the whole radio station. Yeah.
So and you do it. I bet
it's not like I'm living with my ma or anything like that. Yeah.
No. What kind of bullshit?
Ma, turn it down. Where's the meatloaf?
This is that's such a Will Ferrell reference.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's so. This is the only board we have here. Yeah. But you have a. Do you have
a mixer? I have digital CD players.
Yeah.
I have a set of vinyl decks, a mixer. I have like 3 microphones. I have like 3 or 4.
Do you do actual mixing and stuff too?
Yeah.
So you're a full DJ then?
Yeah, full one. And you played your songs and stuff like that. So we do like 3 in a row, 4 in a row, and then we do a 25.
Mixing stuff.
Yeah, I can mix stuff as well.
I couldn't do that. I can't do that.
You're a button presser.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and you've got a
shit
face for
talker.
radio as
and
well.
a face for radio and a shit talker. That was me. That was 100%.
I got a face for radio too.
We won't get into you right now.
So I find that really impressive. So to this day over there, and you're coaching,
and I'm coaching,
and the athletic director at Brighton Stratton. Can you believe Bryant Jets?
Men's soccer. That's right.
The Bobcats.
We have men's soccer, men's basketball. We're bringing on women's soccer this fall, women's basketball. Next year, we're actually bringing on volleyball, men's rugby.
Men's rugby.
Yeah, it's the
Did you ever
fastest
play?
growing non-sanctioned sport in the USA for college.
Did you play rugby?
In school, I did.
You did. So my son, I have a son who's 23 years old. He lives with his mom in the south of our country, in Alabama actually, and he played rugby. He's 6'8". He's on
German called Fabian Erhard, center forward, striker. He's actually just committed to us this morning at 7 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
6'8", center forward.
6'8". Center
He's like,
forward.
He's like two of him.
Totally.
Yes.
Yeah, 6'8".
I'm not 6'8" standing on this bar stool.
This is amazing, Darren. You're a fascinating guy. I would love to.
I was in Dublin.
You know, Dublin is actually the largest city in the world.
I mean, I have to tell you, when I was in Dublin, they were playing the rugby championships.
Yeah, like the Six Nations.
It was the energy when they played the game. We were in one of the pubs and having a good time, but there was like watch parties that flowed out into the streets for
Really?
It was like more fun Super Bowl. I mean, it was much more engaging and like believable.
So funny enough, I support Liverpool Football Club back in Liverpool, England, and it's the closest city to Dublin, and it's only about 72 kilometres away from Dublin. And I grew up supporting. My brother was a Liverpool fan. But
How far is 72 kilometres?
It's about. To make you do maths.
What team is this?
Liverpool Football Club.
It's in Liverpool, England.
Yeah.
And it's only 50.
It's a lot of the Irish because we're really close.
Yeah,
we
you
get
are.
ferry. So growing up in Dublin, everybody was either a Liverpool fan or a Manchester United fan.
Okay.
Right. And
Manchester United, by the way, owned by a Rochester
games in Liverpool, but we used to take the ferry across in the morning. So we used to have to get up really, really early and take the ferry into Liverpool, and it was called the Booze Cruise. So they used to start literally start serving beer at 6 o'clock in the morning. As soon as you walk onto the boat, and then you go to the game, one across back to Dublin. And my brother, I remember when I was growing up, I used to have to carry my brother into a taxi outside of Dublin Port.
That was like yesterday. Yeah. At the end of the night, you would have to carry me the same way.
God,
wow, you're about like 14 pounds, aren't you? You're like my little dog back home.
Different, but I have loved this beer. I have a BJ's membership, the BJ's Super Go. I only have it because I can buy it by the case there, and I like to buy it, and I like this sounds ridiculous, but I like it in the can. To take that as you will.
Shame on you.
But I like it. I like it in the can. If I can't have a draft, I don't want the bottle. I don't like the bottle.
Right. So for me, I used to work for Diageo back in Ireland growing up.
You did. Diageo was the owner of the.
One has an Irish bar right outside Wembley Stadium, where the massive soccer stadium.
Oh yeah.
And it's called the Crock of Gold. Believe it or not, it's an Irish bar. And
the Crock of Gold.
So
it's better than the Crack of Gold.
Yeah. So bringing the beer in, bringing the kegs in, and resetting all the kegs and putting them through the pipes. But then I actually learned how to clean all the beer lines. Now, Damien does a great job here at Mulconnery's. The Point is fantastic. It's probably the only place in Rochester that I'll actually drink a pint of Guinness, bar one place in Syracuse.
That is funny because I've been some places they don't pour correctly.
Well, think of
they
it,
taste almost
fried food in your system every day for a year, right?
Yeah.
How do you think your arches are going to look?
Yeah.
Pretty shit, right?
Yeah.
So now you go into there. Now, Guinness is probably not the number one drink in Rochester, especially if you're a Bills fan. Like, it's more like,
That's all I drink,
malts,
but yes,
malts
I
and
agree.
whatever. But
no,
it's not really. All of that yeast and hops, like, it's just filtered into a kind of a concoction.
And it can get moldy and everything.
Get moldy and kind of tart, and it tastes a little bit vinegary. So if you notice, when I used to work, see the way your pint glass is right now, the way it's layered all the way down. That's how you know it's a good pint of Guinness.
That's how I've always been told that too.
Yeah.
So when I was on the tour of Guinness and when I was in Dublin, they actually talked about how they have in Czech the cleaning systems and how they're actually pouring. So they'll do spot checks on how they pour the Guinness to maintain it, because they're so driven on quality and doing that. And they said, and I was like, well, why does it taste different in the U.S.? And they said, because we don't have the same manpower to drive the quality in the U.S. that they do in Europe.
That's true, because maybe once every 6 weeks or so. So you can imagine if they don't keep on top of that. We used to do it in the bar 3 times a week. You know, that's how it was.
So a lot of my family, like in Sligo, they were farmers and things. And Damien has told me Sligo's a shithole.
It is. I lived there for 5 years.
You're here to coach, not necessarily do the radio show.
No, I'm just here coaching. But like, so what happened was I had a little bit of a siesta, let's say, from doing radio back in Ireland. And when COVID hit in the pandemic, all the boys were like, you know what we should do? And I was like, please don't say put the radio station back together. We should put them in mind, who was the station manager, and Paul, they actually, and Ralph, they all put the radio station back together years and years ago, back in the 90s.
But are you over, it's over the air in Ireland?
Yeah, it's over the air,
Okay.
yeah. So it's crazy.
Like,
so we actually started off as a pirate radio station in Ireland.
Okay.
And then what we would do is, if we found out, we always knew a police officer that would actually, hey, listen, by the way, I just got like a warrant of the site. They would contact the owner of the radio station.
Right there.
I know.
Love it.
And then they would go straight up, pull all the equipment out,
the
go to the
Mafia.
radio station, pull all the radio stations. So they walk in and we'd be just having a cup of tea going, all right, lads, what's up?
What's up?
Like, what are you guys doing?
I love it.
We're just having a cup of tea and a biscuit.
Yeah, that's it. That's
A cookie.
Yeah. So that was that's interesting. And so they would try to, but I don't think they want a bus. Cops don't want to fucking do that work.
So so it wasn't because of the radio. How would you say, the organization, the national radio? We had such a following.
Yeah.
No shit.
They were like,
taking revenue away
exactly
from
right.
them.
We used to have
Billy,
like
follow the money.
We used to have
Right, Dan?
25,000 listeners in the morning.
Yeah.
For a show, and like RTE Radio 2FM and Spin and some of the other radio stations would only have 8,000 listeners.
Right.
So we were like one of the #1 radio stations. So they were like, fucking bastards, like, we're gonna get you.
Well, because they feel like you're not playing by the rules and they have to.
Yeah.
And that's,
but we didn't have the money to play, kind of.
Yeah.
No,
he plays by the rules here.
Yeah. Like, no one knows about it here except you four.
Speaking about the play by the rules, Greg, can we say what you did?
What did I do?
You went over to.
Oh,
I don't know.
Sure, I don't know.
How'd it go? We were gonna wrap it up.
No, you got to bring them on and see what they know about the plunge.
Okay.
And then do the Bill.
Hold on a
Bill
second.
Moran thing.
Hold on. What's going on?
Oh, so
fill me in.
Jimmy Merkley, good friend of Bill's and a friend of mine, and Dan knows.
I can't know.
Did the
cold plunge.
Cold plunge.
The polar plunge.
The cold plunge.
Listen, I already have a small penis. I don't need any more.
The fucking goddamn Irish curse. So Jimmy started
was
doing.
he in the cold plunge pool?
So he started doing it at the beginning of the year, and he's lost 25 pounds.
So I have
in
a
the first
sauna.
10 weeks.
I have the sauna.
Yeah, he
and
had a sauna too.
And then I go in. I'm going to set up. Tomorrow is the day that I'm going back to the gym. Right now, if anybody could see me, if I sat in a
started doing the plunge beginning of January, he's lost 25 pounds.
Holy shit.
And he attributes a lot of it to that whole process of he does it every day throughout, couple months.
Is there a powder substance in the plunge pill?
No plunge pill. And then so Greg went over to talk to some attractive young women, and obviously the plunge came up. I was sure.
You need more microphones.
Going into overtime.
Yeah, you do.
We're going to overtime.
Going to OT.
Sorry.
We're going to OT today.
I think it could be entertaining. Maybe see with Darren and them.
Well, Darren, would you stick around for another
For
second?
sure, no
All right.
problem.
Yeah, I like
I'll
that.
give up my microphone.
No.
Yeah.
We'll get around.
No,
All right.
sit down, relax.
We'll take a moment and we'll do that, Darren. I find you fascinating. I think this is great.
Well, you can buy tickets from my wife if you need me to step in and do a shower, and she's booking me right now.
Wait, let me ask you something. How did you meet Damien, or have you?
PGA.
Are you a member of Oak Hill? Because Greg is a member.
I'm a fucking member. I'm not wasting 60 grand to play golf. I'll go to Genesee Valley to do that. But I have my Ireland jersey.
How can you not know this guy? I mean, he's got the talk. He's got the look.
Funny enough, so I've actually. And then we won the national championship. The DNC actually done an interview with me a couple of days prior to New Year's Eve.
Okay.
And they asked me, like, basically what the story was. I actually got picked up by a TV station. I'd done an interview with maybe the one on Henrietta. I'm actually getting nominated for another award here in Rochester. It's the Press Radio Coach of the Year, ESL Coach of the Year Award.
That's awesome.
So,
Congratulations.
you know,
That's awesome.
I love it, but, you know, I have to say, in all honor of my dad, who passed away, God rest his soul, everything that I do, the development is so cheers, Dad.
His dad died on Christmas. I think I'm sorry to laugh at that.
No,
You
it's
shouldn't
funny
laugh at
because
that.
I got home, like, I actually came back over here. I was recruiting over in the UK, and I had spent a couple of days going back and forth through to Ireland to look after me dad. I came back.
Was he sick?
Yeah, he had stage 4 brain cancer.
Okay.
So
All right.
CAT scan, MRI, biopsy, and then it was boom.
How old a man?
83.
Okay.
So he played nearly a full 90 minutes of football.
Yeah.
Like we like to say it that way. So we were all in the kitchen. I got back in on the 27th because he passed away on Christmas Eve. I couldn't get a PCR test to get out the following day, or like that day. I could have got I could have got like open on Christmas Day. It closes.
Yeah.
So I would have been stuck somewhere anyway.
Holy
It's
shit.
a Catholic holiday.
Big.
So Jesus, these Catholics, God
See, you
damn
know,
you.
the capitalism in America, they don't give a shit.
No, they
Yeah,
don't.
they're open, right?
Yeah.
It's all about money.
It's all about money here.
So I flew out on the 26th, got in on the 27th. I was having a cup of tea with all my family in the kitchen. Now my kitchen is tiny. It's about the width of this. 7 of us grew up, and then and then my brother got married and he had a kid. So there was 9 of us all together.
Wait, your brother got married and had a kid and put him in that house?
Yeah, it was a little parlor. It was probably like maybe about the size of this stage. Like it was great. It was probably the best childhood ever.
Yeah.
So like my dad passed away, and I was like, what a fucking wanker. Now, if you don't know what wanker means,
I
it
do.
means jerk off.
Yes.
Right? And all my brothers turned around and goes, what? And I was like, hear me out. And Dad, life and soul of the party. He loved Patrick's Day. I remember when he came over to visit me when I was over here, I woke him up at 6 o'clock in the morning, jumping on his bed with a pint of Guinness in my hand, ready to give it to him. And he took 2 mouthfuls and told me that. Dad, life and soul of the party. Anybody wanted to hang out with him, loved him. Football, everybody wanted to get to know him. But he's the only person I know that could actually push Jesus Christ out of the way on Christmas Day and make the day all about himself. So cheers to that.
It's funny because I got kicked out of my grandfather was a New York City fireman.
Okay.
His mother had come over from Ireland and ran a boarding house for people and stuff, and helping other Irish come over. And when he died, they had the honor guard for New York City. And my other grandfather, whose parents were also from Ireland, this big fat lady goes up and she kneels at the coffin. And the coffin sort of rocked, and my grandfather goes, stick a light bulb up her ass, her antlers will glow. And I fucking lost it, and fucking wake, oh my God, it never ends.
It's crazy.
It never ends,
we actually
Darren.
started drinking at
Holy
about 12
shit,
o'clock.
yeah.
And we didn't finish till about 11 o'clock that night.
Yeah.
From my dad. And we had like people that he knew growing up.
Yeah.
Came to the wedding, my brother
It
got
depends
married.
on your perspective about the dead body, right?
My brother got married in 2016 in Sligo. And
In Sligo, yeah.
I flew over with my wife, and we ended up going to the thing. My wife doesn't drink. Like, I had to put her to bed after 5 drinks yesterday.
5 drinks,
Right.
that's a lot.
It's a lot for a little girl. Like, she's only 5'1" or so.
Okay.
But she's great. So we ended up like drinking. So my sister-in-law was like, we'll christen the future daughter-in-law. So they started doing baby Guinness.
Oh.
It's very dangerous.
Yes.
So she done about 7 or 8 shots.
Yeah. I think in Spain they call that well, they do it with cognac, with chocolate. It's cognac con chocolate. It's a very similar thing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I learn
did it
something
when
new every day.
I was
Every day.
17 and I got
First of all, you got to listen to Billified podcast because you learn something every podcast.
Studio in my basement where my mom
I
is
know.
now. I'm talking.
Where she cooks the meatloaf.
Meatloaf, Mom!
That was the greatest reference. God, that's in Wedding Crashers. I love that fucking movie.
So they ended up drinking till 8 o'clock in the morning, and then went to bed for 2 hours in the hotel. One of my brother's friends was asleep. I have a video of him being asleep. He actually got as far as the first level of the stairs outside, and all I hear is someone snoring.
Snoring.
He's like
my
this
God.
on the floor. And I said, David, I said, Sean's up here on the floor, and he said he's passed out. And he goes, well, what do you want me to do? So me cousin, Michelle, was posting on Snapchat like 8 o'clock in the morning. They just finished. She just finished drinking. So we, like, for a week, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's a celebration.
It is a celebration. It is the truest celebration of life.
It's a celebration for the week.
Take a moment and be back for one more. Greg's making us do one more time. One more.
OT.
Live from O'Connery's and St. Patrick's Day. What a fun bunch this is.